So in the end, Indiana was not all that dramatic. And for several reasons. It's not just that Donald Trump had a big lead in the polls and therefore looked likely to win. It's that the press had collectively come to the conclusion that it almost didn't matter whether Donald Trump won the lion's share of Indiana's 57 delegates or not, because you saw these cracks in the Republican establishment where more and more delegates, honchos, officials, operatives were saying, well, you know, I'm not that crazy about Trump, but maybe he's not that bad. We need party unity. We don't want to have a messy brawl in Cleveland. In other words, you saw people sort of bowing to the direction of the Trump Express and starting to fall into line. Meanwhile, Ted Cruz continues to complain about how unfair the media have been to him and how much we all love Donald Trump, including, he says, Fox News Channel. I guess he's missed a lot of the negative commentary on the billionaire. And it is true, this much is true, not the stuff about Trump. Come on. What is true is that Cruz has gotten very tough coverage the last 10 days, and there's a reason for it. One is he's losing, and the press is always very tough on a candidate who seems to be sinking. Second is he's done a lot of things that appear to be, shall we say, on the desperate side. You know, there was the Kasich deal, there was picking Carly, there was talking about basketball rings in the Hoosier state, but also things that, you know, as he stepped up his criticism, and actually on the eve of the Indiana primary, said Trump was a serial philanderer and brought up venereal disease. Does that sound like a confident candidate to you? And then he even, you know, had bad luck. That's what happens when you're losing. Carly Fiorina falls off the stage and suddenly everybody's playing the tape. It's like, hey, how come Cruz didn't dive after her and rescue her? And all of that adds up to a picture of a candidate who appeared to be flailing. And the sort of exhibit A for the State of the Cruz campaign was when he decided to walk over to a handful of Trump supporters holding signs and engage them in a dialogue, a bit of a confrontation, trying to create a moment for television. I didn't think it was that bad. I would like to see more candidates do that. Go get in the face of people over somebody else and actually try to have a conversation. All the pundits are like, wow, that really made me cringe. Boy, that was not a good look. And there was a little bit of a surreality to the fact that Cruz was saying things like, well, sir, I have treated you respectfully. And this bozo with the sign is saying, Lion Ted, and you're from Canada, aren't you? Kind of a mismatch, kind of a metaphor almost, and the press loves metaphors, for the State of the Cruz campaign. But if Cruz had managed to win some of these recent contests, he'd be getting a lot better press. A lot of the negativity in the media is, why is he still hanging on in the race and talking about a contested convention when Trump seems to be rolling to the magic 1237? So that, I think, is the story from here on in. Where does Cruz go from here? And whether or not the media love Trump or don't love Trump, the fact is Trump is putting those points on the board.